Hello everybody, it's me, GhostCritic. Thank you for joining me. Today late, but I have some comic book review videos for you. I'm in a kind of new location just for today. I'm not in my front room because the neighbours are being very loud at the moment. It's obviously a gorgeous day, so they're just standing around on their doorsteps, screaming and shouting and playing music really loud. So I've had to come into the back bedroom where it's nice and quiet. 7 books on my pull list this week, kind of rated from least liked to my pick of the week. There's 7 books, and of course spoiler warnings initiated. I'll be talking plot points, stories, cliffhangers, character progressions, all that good stuff, so I don't want to spoil the books for you. So if you've not seen or read any of these books, please stop the video, fast forward it to the one which you have read or you may just want to hear about, and we shall continue on. And we're starting this week with DC Nation issue 0. It's not so much that I didn't particularly like the stories in this, it's just that I don't really have any investment in any of the 3 stories in here. There's one for Batman, one for Superman and one for Justice League. None of those titles are buying, and I do feel that in some respects you kind of have to have been reading it, although these are kind of like prepping to their big summer blockbuster kind of storylines. So the first one, you've got Batman. The fact that Batman's not in it at all doesn't matter because it's got his arch nemesis, #1 villain, the Joker, and just portraying, as usual, his complete chaotic nature, where he's kind of got himself into someone's house where he thinks an invitation to the old Batman Catwoman wedding is going to be delivered to, but this person is just completely random, and this guy can't for the life of him think why the Joker is waiting here. It's very twisted, it's dark in that kind of Joker DC way, but it's not really something that, you know, we've not seen before. We know the Joker is absolutely, you know, cuckoo, and trying to rationalise or give some sort of logic to what he's doing is impossible. The second story, the Superman focused one, obviously things are happening in the Superman universe that I am not aware of at all. I've said many times, I've never picked up a Superman title as an ongoing ever. There was the All-Star Superman, that's it. I appreciate Superman more when he's in a team or when he's kind of, you know, bouncing off someone else. In his own titles, I've never really had any interest whatsoever. So most of this went over my head. Apparently Lois no longer works at the Daily Planet and everyone's wondering why, and they're trying to cover it up. We have this new reporter coming in. She clearly has some agenda in taking over the Daily Planet. I just don't care. And then you get to the Justice League storyline at the end of this, which is, of the 3, was kind of the most interesting and kind of sort of perked up my interest. We have the kind of the core of the Justice League kind of they're sort of fragmented in a way, I'd say. You've got Batman, you've got Superman, you've got Wonder Woman, I think there's Cyborg, and they're all kind of heading these teams. And you have kind of Batman with Justice League Entropy. And the choice of people in these teams are probably very interesting to people who read DC. On Batman's team, you've got Lobo, Deathstroke, Lex Luthor and Beast Boy, which is... The Beast Boy is a weird addition to that whole team. I can see why the rest are there, but not necessarily Beast Boy. Then you've got Justice League Team Mystery, which is the Superman-led fragment of this team. And you've got Martian Manhunter, you've got Starfire, you've got Starro, and you've got Sinestro. So they do seem to be mixing up these kind of villains, heroes kind of teams. Justice League, what's it called? Team Wonder. So of course it's Wonder Woman. And this seems to be more kind of a magical supernatural team. So you've got Raven, you've got Etrigan, you've got Dr. Fate, and you've got Zatanna. It's a bit strange that Wonder Woman is heading that, but I'm sure if you read it, it all makes sense. And then finally you've got Justice League Team Wisdom, headed by Cyborg, what it looks like anyway. Then you've got Atom, you've got Robin, the Damian version, Flash, and Harlequin. It's interesting that this story kind of, given that the new Avengers title is out this week, and what occurred in that and the whole culmination of that, it kind of mirrored what that story was going on. You've got these right at the very end, I did warn you, spoilers, but you've got these big gods, space gods kind of. I'm not sure who they're meant to be, but it did kind of reflect and mirror what was going on in the Avengers title. Coincidence? Who knows? Again, like I said, it's not anything that I'm going to be picking up, but it was a fun read and it cost me nothing. Next up, Astonishing X-Men number 11, the penultimate issue of Charles Soule's 12-issue run on this book before it gets moved on with a new creative team. And I kind of felt a little let down by this because the kind of culmination, the climax of this, I just felt was really obvious. The majority of it is this X team taking down Proteus, and Betsy Psylocke, and this new X character who could be a younger version of Xavier. Kind of link their powers and connect with all the other kind of telepaths, kind of mutants around the world to hopefully take down finally Proteus. And it's all very fun, it's all very exciting, but the reveal of who X really is, it was just there on a plate. I knew from probably at least 2 or 3 issues ago who this guy really was, because it's not Xavier, no, and it's what it will mean for the X team now. And with 1 issue to go to kind of wrap this up, it's going to be interesting. Again, spoiler warnings, I'm going to show you it now. It was, of course, the Shadow King. He was beneath and underneath the whole X character, and now he has a connection to all the telepaths in the world. Ron Garney's artwork on this I really enjoyed, but I liked his Daredevil artwork, so I'm already familiar with that, but I thought it was really good in here as well. It was just a little on the disappointing side with the reveal for me. Issue number 34 of David Lapham's Stray Bullets makes my next slot, and it was difficult. This book and the next 3 books before we get to my pick of the week was very difficult to kind of put in any kind of order of preference, because they were all so good. They're all doing what they do really well. So these next 4 books, including this one, they're all kind of on a par. They're all really good. I'm really enjoying them. It's just, I'm not even being nitpicky about anything. They're just really great reads. But here we have Stray Bullets, and we have this kind of relationship with... this is the thing with Stray Bullets, there's so many characters and trying to remember who's who, but we've kind of got Kretschmeyer's younger brother and Annie, who have kind of, I guess, run away, left Kretschmeyer behind, and hopefully trying to, I don't know whether it's really making a new life, but just kind of getting away from the madness that is Kretschmeyer. But in kind of Stray Bullets inimitable style, it's just craziness all the way as Kretschmeyer's younger brother tries to make a pass at Annie, which doesn't really go so well. They kind of go back home and go back to... Again, there's so many characters. The woman who's got the kind of, I don't know if he's Down syndrome or he's like... I wish I could remember these names. But they kind of go back home, and it's just ridiculous nonsense and farcical dark humour again from Lapham, and the story seems to get even more convoluted. But what was really good about this, we get Spanish Scott coming back in to the storyline. He's always like the huge big threat that everyone's scared of in the background, and he makes a big appearance at the end of this, and he kind of almost gets done over. It seems to be the female characters seem to get all these guys into, you know, so much trouble here. But it's just a hilarious fun read. It's always full of action and just craziness. It's violent, yes. It's not for the young ones. This is an adult orientated book, but as always, this storyline or storylines from Lapham, they just interweave in and out of each other so well. And I think I said on Wednesday, he's doing this all himself. He's hasn't taken a break as far as I can recall in this 34 issue run so far, and I think that has to be highly commended. It can diverge and it can go off in all sorts of tangents as many times as it wants, but it always fixes not even fixes itself, as if something is going wrong here and Lapham has to kind of draw it back in. He knows exactly what strands go where and how they will all come back together again. Just fantastic stuff. Love Stray Bullets. Issue number 6 of Gravediggers Union from Wes Craig, the artist on Deadly Class, which you all know I absolutely adore. And it's interesting because on Wednesday, on New Comic Book Day, when I said that this was back, and I thought it was really good the way that the last 5 issues, before it took a brief hiatus, slowly built up this world that Wes Craig has created. You got to know a lot about the characters, and it wasn't so much that it was slow moving, but it was, I guess, methodical, and took its time but never felt laboured. And it's interesting that with this issue, everything seems to happen at once. It's so in your face, as good as it is, but it's just like suddenly it's over like that, and not really without a great deal of explanation. We've had in the last 5 issues these kind of intro cutaway scenes taken from, you know, the dawn of time, and we have this kind of alien monkey type character, which has never really been explained, but we obviously know that it has some reason for being there, and it's going to affect what's happening in the present day storyline. And it certainly is here as our Gravediggers go to their boss, asking for help to go and get these this alien monkey that's trapped in a zoo at the moment. And it's just all out action. You've got the zombies, you've got flying kind of vampires, you've got huge big demons, and then there are just these gravediggers with their shovels and their axes, trying to rescue this this white alien monkey, while our Dark Cabal is also there because they need it to, I guess, sacrifice it and bring in the dawn of a new evil age. But it's there. But it's just fantastic. There are some great, really great action scenes in here. The artwork, it does kind of take a bit of getting used to. Toby Cypress on here, but it's suitably kind of dark and supernatural like. There is a kind of potential death of a character at the end of this that is going to probably have a little bit of impact in the next few issues. I'm obviously not showing you that page, but another great set of art there from Toby Cypress. And of course the father of the daughter who's leading this Dark Cabal, they kind of catch a glimpse of each other, but it isn't the happy reunion he's hoping for. But great return from Gravediggers. As I said, it just hit you in the face, very fast, very action oriented, but very, very entertaining. Next, it's East of West, Jonathan Hickman's sci-fi apocalyptic universe with a bit of a western cowboy theme, issue number 37. And this is the same as the next book I'm going to talk about, because the storyline on this is very, not strange, but it's a departure, I guess, in a way, from the kind of main storyline that really is going on, and kind of looking at it either from someone else's perspective, or it kind of shocks you or wakes you up a little bit to what's going on in the story. With this particular issue of East of West, we centre on, I guess he's a kind of bounty hunter, and he's mad. He's so mad that even those kind of the four horsemen, of which there are only three of them, of the apocalypse, are just going to leave him to it. They can see the revenge that is in his eyes, and they aren't going to stop him one bit. And we see him progressing through the environment of East of West, picking up more information and getting to where he needs to be. And the culmination right at this very minute is that he's going after the one of the heads of the different states within America, and it's the John Freeman character. I hope you can see that because the lighting isn't great in here. But yes, he's slowly taking each of the kind of heads of these states down. We can see that he's eventually going to go after Archibald Chamberlain and Belle Solomon at some point. It's difficult to remember why he wants to do this. There is a sense of revenge in here. I'm going to have to kind of maybe look back and remember where he came in last time, and how he all fits into the East of West universe. But it was just such it was a slow read, in the sense that I really just wanted to take it all in, what was going on, and this slower, sudden pace that we've got here now. I was a little disappointed given the cover, and I thought this was going to deal with Death and his son, and there's none of that in here anywhere. But still, I was intrigued by this kind of side path we're taking from the main storyline. As always, Jonathan Hickman really writing a solid sci-fi tale here, and with Dragotta and Martin, who have been on, Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin on here since the beginning. It's just an all-round great sci-fi package. Black Science issue number 35 just pipped at the post for pick of the week. And this, like I said with the last issue, it took you to a place you weren't particularly expecting. Remender has had a brief hiatus with this book, and we left off from issue 34, where they're now in this, I think it's called a Neververse. It's kind of in-between space between all these dimensions that they are causing untold chaos in, and basically breaking down this multi-dimensional worlds everywhere they go, no matter how hard they try. And they look at this from a very interesting angle, and it is basically a marriage guidance counsellor type deal, where we have this woman who's, I guess, the psychiatrist, and she's trying to get them to connect to each other again, I guess in a way almost fall back in love, because that's the only way to stop all the madness that's going on in all the other dimensions. But they have to actively agree to this, and I guess mean it as well, as this woman does it in a very strange way, because she takes off the wife, sends her off to another dimension, to a place where she could see what she would have done if she hadn't married Grant. And she's this big kind of theatre actress, well renowned and well loved, doing the passion that she loves, and that's obviously acting, and she's doing it for her rather than being associated with Grant and all the science that goes with it, that's really his deal and nothing really to do with her. Her dreams are put on the back burner, if not just cut off, so he can progress with his science project, this dimensional pillar. So it's kind of a big smack in the gob for her, really, as she realises what her life could be, which I don't think is particularly helpful in trying to get these two together. But what is happening while she's there is that this young psychiatrist is talking to Grant in a very kind of atypical psychiatrist way. He's almost like on the psychiatrist's sofa, pouring out his feelings, and it's discovered that she is actually a daughter of these two that could have been on and has been in certain dimensions. But it's all tricks in some respects, and it's piling on, I guess, the kind of dimensions and that kind of the decisions you make affect your next future, life, and that idea that if you say yes to something, you go down this pathway. If you say no to something, you go down that pathway. And this poor young woman, a psychiatrist, clearly has been doing this, trying to get her parents together again for quite some time. Just a very clever look at our kind of, I guess, the two main characters of this incredibly dysfunctional family. But I loved it. It was another great return for Remender on his black science. Fantastic. Do I have to keep saying it? Matteo Scalera, even in this less than action-packed issue, because there is a lot of people talking and standing around and such like, the artwork is still phenomenal. It's still, you look at it and you just drool over it and kind of wipe it off the pages before you ruin it, but I love it. Okay, we've reached the pick of the week, and I'm sure you've all figured this out by now if you've watched my Wednesday's video. I just loved this issue. It's a #1. It's from Marvel. It is the Avengers. In this bumper issue, extra long, filling in, getting new readers caught up to what's going on in here, because I do recognise, right at the very beginning of this, it talks a lot about that Avengers, is it 1 million BC, the kind of original Avengers from back in the kind of, I guess, prehistoric times. And you kind of got Odin, you've got the Phoenix Force, you've got the Hulk in there, amid other ones, Agamotto, and they're up against the Celestials. I'm guessing that's like I say, a catch up for new readers from that original series, and it links into our main story. It's one of those, and you've got to have it as an issue one. You've got to have the kind of team coming together from, you know, disparate scenarios, as you have Tony, Thor and Captain America all around a table having a drink, talking about bringing the Avengers back together and the need for them, regardless of what has happened before. The world needs the Avengers. And of course we get little kind of vignettes, I guess you call them, of other superheroes that are just living their life around the world, or around America, I guess you'd say. And you know that these are all going to come together for the big bad that is coming. And the big bad in this is, of course, the Celestials. And you get the likes of Doctor Strange, a Black Panther, being kind of archaeologists, going spelunking down in caves and finding mysterious writing and dead bodies everywhere. And then you've got She-Hulk, who just happens to be where one of the Celestials kind of falls and apparently dies in a big river. And it's just fun comic book action all the way. Ms. Marvel's thrown in there. There are so many. I mean, you've obviously the cover, you can see all the characters that are going on in here. But Jason Aaron writes just such a great superhero team that I just can't help but have a big smile on my face as it goes. He puts enough in it for, you know, the characters that you may not know enough about. He kind of sprinkles what's going on with them. I mean, Ghost Rider, this new character here, I'm not really aware of him, but I can kind of follow with the information that Aaron gave us in it to you know, be on board with it. And of course I love Ed McGuinness's artwork, just a fantastic, you know, 2-page spread here. And of course the danger has got to be amped up even more. I mean, they're worried that the Celestials are here, but when they find that they're all falling out of the sky and they appear to be dead, it's like they're like the big power of the universe. And kind of reflects back to the start of this with the 1 million BC kind of Avengers, where they were worried about, you know, taking on all these Celestials. For something to be apparently killing all these Celestials, there must be a bigger bad. And that's what really kind of intrigues me and makes this just a big, fun, stupid comic. And sometimes stupid comics can be really good, and it was. I had fun from the start to the end of this. I've not picked up an Avengers title ongoing for a long time. This, I picked it up after, I think it was Brian Michael Bendis did the whole Avengers Disassembled, and we got all the new books. We got the Mighty Avengers, we got the New Avengers, we got the Initiative, and all those books, and I stuck with them for as long as I could, and then they kept restarting them and I got a bit fed up of it, and then I left it, and kind of then got drawn a little bit back in with my back issue collections, with the whole lead up to Secret Wars and the Infinity and all that. But I'm really very excited for this book. It's just, for me, it's one of those kind of pure comic fun entertaining books which I'm really going to look forward to from month to month, or I don't know, I hope this isn't bi-weekly, twice a month. I hope it's really not, but I hope Aaron and McGuinness stay on this for a long time to come. Great stuff. And then my books for this week. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm sorry about the picture on this. I'm sorry about the lighting. It's very difficult in a room I'm not used to using, and it's very sunny outside, so the light is a bit distracting to me as well. But thank you for sticking by me, and thumb this video up, subscribe if you're not already, and comment down below what you thought of the books I read. Did you read Avengers #1, and did you agree that it should be the pick of the week? It was mine. Until next time, bye bye.